Hello, my name is Soledad de Esteban Trivigno, although everyone's called me Sole. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my experience as a woman in academy, in science, and how I kind of step out of academy too. So I did my degree in Valencia. I'm a biologist. And after that, I did a PhD in paleontology. During my PhD, I studied the morphology, that means the relationship between the shape of the skull and the mandible, and the diet of some fossil animals. In my case, it was some really cool animals that are called xenothrans that lived before that, but the ones that I study live in the Pleistocene, so they live with humans at some point, and they were like giant armadillos the size of a car, or a giant sloths, larger indeed than a car, some of them. They were really, really cool. I mean, for me, are cooler than dinosaurs. But anyway, after my PhD, I moved to Barcelona for a postdoc. And then in 2009, I moved in 2008, and in 2009, I had my son. So I always remember the day in which we decided to go for it with my husband. And he asked me, "Are you sure? Because maybe to keep in science is going to be really hard for you afterwards." And then he has been always super supportive with me. I have to thank that. And then I remember that I said, well, yes, because I'm getting older and I want a kid. So let's do it and we will see how the future is. Because since I was a child, I always want to be a scientist. My family always support me on that. And I have a lot of support from my environment on that. And I feel that was what I want to do. Okay. But at the same time, at that moment during my postdoc, I was a little bit, how do you say it? A little bit not that happy with the system and how things worked. It was not what I expected, let's say. So I have my son, and obviously it has a huge impact in my research. During the first year, we have almost no sleep, as anyone else that have a kid, with some exceptions. And, for a job where you need your brain functioning like quite well, it was very, very hard to work. I was working, but not producing. So I was reading, I was, doing analysis, but writing and putting everything together was really hard in that state. Of course, my production was not that good during my postdoc. Therefore, I have less chances of having another postdoc. I tried a couple, did not have success. But at the same time, I have begun to organize some courses for researchers, like 1 week course where I invited the instructor, and we opened the course for other researchers that pay a little fee in the institution. And that was a way for me to learn more things, right? But at the same time, I had been always quite good at organizing things. So it came kind of naturally, and I really like it. So I keep doing it. And at the same time I was applying for these postdocs, I kept doing some other courses. And at some point, we decided that it was too complicated to do it that way. So together with my partner and another friend, we set up a company that is called Transmitting Science. And this company, we do other things that we like, but the main thing is that we organize courses for researchers, for scientists, especially in life sciences, right? In paleontology, biology, these kind of things. Courses that are very specific, because nowadays, what I realized when I do it in my postdoc is that nowadays things are different than were, let's say, 20 years ago. So things were moving really fast. You need to learn new skills. And many times, or at least it happens to me, the people that surrounded the lab where you were have not knowledge of those new skills. So you need to learn it somehow. We set up the company and kind of naturally I step out of academia. I'm still doing some research now and then when I have time. But most of my time, of course, is devoted to kind of direct and organize the company and run the courses, etc. The thing is that, when I did this change, when I decided to create Transmitting Science and follow another path, I felt that one of the reasons I was doing it was, or maybe the main reason was because my kid. I thought, I don't want to devote that much time to science. I'm not going to have that much time, the time I need to be productive and apply for grants. But what I discovered over the years is that my own project, Transmitting Science, have taken much more time from me. So when I look back, I think that the main reason was not the time, because when I was in an environment I really like, I kind of have no problem devoted of this time and making conciliation somehow. The main problem for me was the environment. I was in a department, in an institution, where what was promoted and the behavior that was encouraged was, let's say, male-dominated. Don't take me wrong. There are many males that don't do that, but kind of alpha male-dominated. So everything was about how many papers have you produced this year, or how many grants you have applied. And at some point, I realized that we never spoke about our own research. So I wasn't sure what my colleagues were doing at my institution. We were a small institution. We did not have the time to discuss about science, to compare results, to try to collaborate between us. Indeed, collaboration in some cases was not encouraged. So what I learned after stepping out is that I work much better in a collaborative environment, where everyone can have their own opinion, where we can promote what everyone does better. And I really enjoy working in Transmitting Science for that reason. Is the team, yes, we are not that many, but we always try to work together and to see, not everyone is good at everything. So to see who is the best for what, and being honest on that, and trying to build something together. And then I have realized that this is what I miss from the scientific environment in which I was involved. Over the years, I learned that there are other labs that doesn't work like this. And I was happy to discover this. But still, I think that there are many that are this way. So sometimes I think how my life would have been these last 9-10 years if, instead of being in an institution that promotes individuality and production over what you are doing, or science or curiosity, production number of papers, or that encourage more collaborations where everyone can put whatever they do best. For example, I'm very good at analysis, but I don't like to write. But I have colleagues that are the other way around. So I'm sure that we will have the chance to work together at that time, would have been really productive, much more than it was. I wonder whether if I could have used all my set of skills in the institution, working for science inside the system, I think that would have been better for the system. I'm not sure it will be better for me, but or will be the same. But therefore, I think how many people are women, in many cases, are leaving academia because they cannot see this path clearly in the system. They don't feel that they fit in there. So I think that we need much more diversity in science in general, in this case specifically regarding having more women in different positions. But not just having more women, it's having more ways, different ways of doing things. One of the things I have learned from working in a company and, reading, I had to learn from scratch on that, and reading and, watching some videos and things, is that right now companies are moving toward other system where collaboration is promoted over individuality, where hierarchy is reduced, and then everyone have more chances of put whatever they are good at in the system. And for me, it's a little bit weird and indeed kind of really disappointing that we are moving in companies in that direction, while in the academia, I don't see that yet. And I think is the way, especially for science, because of course there is a lot of people that is really good and amazing at what they are doing. But science is not like it was, in the 19th century. Right now, there are so many new methods each year, so many new discoveries that it's very difficult to keep track. So we have to collaborate. There's no other way out of this. We all know that, but still, when you work in many labs around the world, there is mainly one person and you have to do whatever that person decide, and creativity and collaboration are not really encouraged. So my take-home message here is that we should think more about diversity in science, and we should think more about and discuss about which kind of science we want to do and how. Thank you.